Hey, what's good? J Bookie in full effect mode. Bun down is the sound. You know how we do. This is, of course, the Lounge Presents. And on today's show, we're bringing someone back, a homie that we've known literally from time. And we're super happy to bring him back into the lounge space. So, right about now, we're giving it up to Big Guy.
Oh, hello.
Big Yai, little Yai.
Yes, yes.
Yo, let's just do a quick refresh.
Yep.
I need you to refresh my memory about how you came up with Yai.
Uh, well, I went through a few rap names before that, and let me see. I didn't start actually releasing things until 2000, so I guess 25 years ago now. Jesus. Um, yeah. So before that, yeah, luckily it didn't hit me like I didn't release something a year earlier or something because I would have been Mind State :chapter 1 at that point. You go through a whole bunch of names and then
Mind State Chapter 1.
yeah, yeah. So it's like, and then you hit the internet and it's like, oh yeah, there's like a million other mind states out there
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
chapter something, like it's so yeah, it just struck me one day. Actually, how it really came about was I was brainstorming a project. I think I read Gulliver's Travels, uh,
Mm,
where the premise, for those who aren't familiar, Gulliver goes to 4 different islands. This is back before people had crossed oceans.
yes.
At least recorded. Uh, European history. And and he hits all these different islands that have these different people, like giants or horse people or tiny little humans. So I was inspired by that, of like, I'm gonna do a storytelling album where I kind of like go into these different planets or something and pick up other people and start a crew, and one of them was going to be
Hey,
Guy.
hey.
Yeah, I was pretty out there back in the day.
I'm digging it still though. That's kind of dope
Yeah,
stuff.
no, it's not impossible that gets revisited someday. But
Hey.
yeah, so I just, that name just struck me as like, is it 2 vowels? Is it 2 consonants? Is it one of each? It's one syllable. A Y at the beginning of a word like you, a Y at the end of a word like my. Put them together, yai. And I know no one else has come up with that, and if they do, they bit me. So it
Yeah.
was like in the time of no biting allowed. I mean, still a mantra to this day, but I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go with that, and luckily, I haven't had to change my name in 25 years, so it's great.
There you go. There you go. Well, I mean, for one thing, it's a very memorable stage name to have.
If
You
people
know,
get it right,
once you hear it, you're not going to forget. Well, I'm sorry. What was your name? You're not. You know what I'm saying?
people
It's
get it
not
right. If people get it right, like that's like, you're reading it,
true.
you're gonna be like, wise or why or
You got a little bit of that. I'm
yeah,
assuming.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Some people I know quite well. It's still don't get it right most of the time, and it's like,
Oh
yeah, man, I
damn.
made up a word. What are you gonna do?
Was the mind state nom de guerre? Was that around the time of the balance of the artisans?
Yeah, it exactly was. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
okay, okay.
The very few copies of that tape that I've passed to people, uh, that was the moniker right there.
Let's open that up for just a tad.
Okay.
The balance of the artisans. That was the group that you had with co-op and someone else.
Yeah, my friend Mark
And
also went through a bunch of names. I think Who was his name
who?
at that time. Yeah,
Okay, okay. Yeah.
yeah. Two of the people I can count on one hand that from my time of living in Port Isle Prairie, I lived there for junior high and high school, that I still keep in touch with, as some of my closest friends to this day. Yeah, Mark on the beats and rapping, co-op on the cuts and some producing as well.
There you
Yeah,
go.
just kind of getting our toes wet and everything, and I mean, it got me hooked up with everybody that I make music with to this day, really.
Can I touch on the balance of the artisans for a moment?
Sure.
After hearing one of those joints, straight up and down, dog. All I could think of was Project Blodian-esque.
Yeah, dude, Mike and I right here.
I mean,
yeah, big
on
influence.
it,
Yeah. No, I came up. I mean, I was a hip hop head from pretty young age, from like 8 years old in the late '80s. But the '90s, I had an older brother who was, he had his finger on the pulse of, what's good in rap. So yeah, like Freestyle Fellowship, also just West Coast stuff in general, like Saphir,
Mhm.
Hobo Junction, Hieroglyphics was huge to me. Everything like style related,
Mhm.
and freestyling off the dome, not with written stuff. Styles, like really pushing styles and things like that. So yeah, for sure, that's always been an influence. But I've tried to do that without being a biter, like not
Right, of course, of
what
course.
they're doing. Yeah, huge influence though.
And I mean, letting your influences show, I mean, that's not a terrible thing.
No, no, and I think I put it out there too,
Yeah.
like make
Y-
references or, like Saphir specifically, who I've been a huge fan of.
Rest in power,
Arson.
yo. Rest in
Yeah,
power.
I know.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's a
We
huge
lost a dope MC there, yo.
dude. That would have been a bucket
Oh,
list thing to do a song with Saphir someday. Would have been, yeah. But what are you gonna do, man? It's he left a body of work though, and
he
like
did.
you can drop a Saphir line, and it's like, oh, the heads know. People who know
Yeah.
Saphir like know that's a Saphir line because nobody
I've
else.
been all around the planet pitching, and the one hit it.
I'm the first
So
battery
just
on the
come with
wall.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, man, for real. How the project, for anyone who isn't aware, the Project Blowed crew collective, obviously based out of the West Coast, specifically California, with such notable names: Freestyle Fellowship, Abstract Tribe, Unique. Man, you just could go on forever.
yeah, man. They put
They
out.
roll deep.
Yeah, man. If
Medusa, you name it.
there's a great documentary out there called "This Is the Life."
Yes.
On Netflix.
Oh, yes, man.
So good,
Respect
man.
for bringing it up.
And it's wild. Like there's stories of like Snoop Dogg's on there talking about his
Yeah.
admiration. Like there's stories of Easy E bringing Bone Thugs and Harmony to the Good Life. So the Project
Yep.
Blow was
Yep.
uh, the club that everyone played at. And the Good Life was a health food store that had an
Yes.
open mic with a few
Yes.
rules, including you couldn't swear, you had to come off the head, and
Yep.
everything.
Yep.
Yeah, and like there's stories of Easy E bringing Bone Thugs and Harmony there, before whatever that first Faces of Death or whatever they put out first,
Yep.
like to be supposedly, who knows, this is some people's account, to be like sound like that, like
Yeah.
early 2000s. Project Blow went on a crusade against people who bit their style because they
Yeah.
basically, they were, like Rakim in the mid 80s. Like things didn't
Yeah.
sound the same after they showed up,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yo, I remember getting into long, drunk ass arguments with my homie Miles. I was like, obviously, like Project Blowed all day,
Yeah.
and he's coming at me with Bone, and I'm like, dog, no, we're not gonna have this conversation.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give credit when it's due. Like,
Oh,
Bone
for
can
sure.
rap, Crazy Bone, especially Busy Bone.
Oh yeah.
But if you go back and see, like, Micah
Yeah.
9 he
Just
ghost wrote a song on the first NWA album. Like, I'm talking NWA and the
yep.
Posse, like
Yep.
those guys go back a really long
Oh yeah, the receipts are there too.
LA Cool, like
Yep.
invented
Ooh,
chopping,
yes.
like for you,
Fat
like,
Jack. Oh my god.
yeah, like they roll deep. Chillin' Villain Empire, amazing. It's just
Oh man, CVE. Hell yes.
yeah, it's still stuff that I check out. Like any of those guys drop a record, and I'm
Oh
checking
yeah.
it out day one. If I could get it on vinyl, I'm doing that as long as
Yep.
it's not going to cost me $200.
Right.
I'll probably spend 75 though. Because yeah, hot shit, man.
Definitely. Definitely. If it isn't obvious, we have two very deep Project Blowed fans here.
Yes, sir.
Yo, and I think I remember seeing, and this sticks out just because we were talking about Project Blowed. I remember seeing a video of you guys doing seasons, and I could have sworn I saw you in ATU like T.
That sounds right. Yeah, I think I had a long sleeve ATU. That would have probably been when Abstract Rude came to Winnipeg for
Yep.
What was that? The first, no, maybe not the first Peg City Hall, but
It's one of the Peg cities.
yeah, in conjunction with the opening of the Wax Museum, I think.
Yep.
Unless I'm getting my years confused.
And it was he played West End, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
totally.
Wow, that show was fire, yo.
Yeah, man, all those guys. Yeah, I've been lucky enough to see him, to see AC Alone. In
Yep.
Was that Winnipeg or Saskatoon? Maybe it was both. Yeah, a lot of Tumex. A huge fan of Tumex Bus Driver, who's a huge weirdo, but like does some great
Yeah.
stuff. Not always so accessible, but
Yeah.
have to tip your hat to what he's doing.
If I mean, we're talking about an MC again from the Project Blow Collective. If you want to pull like a modern day reference for Bus Driver, who would you say?
Oh man,
If there's someone right now.
sounds like Bus Driver, man. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't think of anyone that far out. I could think of some really dope current rappers, underground and stuff, but like
Yeah.
something like that, nah, nothing hits my top of my head right now. Probably someone who's a spin-off of Project Blowed that I don't even know about, because
Right.
that's still going strong in LA. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
You know what's funny? You know that the Project Blow, the Good Life Cafe, where they frequented, was actually featured. You don't remember that Girlfriends? I guess it was a situation comedy with Tracy Ellis Ross. Remember that
Oh,
show, Girlfriends?
I don't remember that, but I know, yeah, Diana Ross's daughter, right? Like,
Yeah.
no,
So
it was probably in a time where I didn't have cable or something. But
okay, so Girlfriends was a really big show at the time, and it was big because it was the story of four black women on primetime television.
right.
And one of the guests they had on was Saul Williams.
Oh yeah.
So, oh, and Common, same episode, by the way.
Okay. Yeah.
And the episode was taking place in a very Good Life-esque space.
Oh yeah.
So when I saw the episode, I was like, yo, that could be Good Life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Turns out they were actually mimicking the Good Life Cafe in that episode.
No kidding. Hey, oh, I'll have to go back on that.
Crazy shit. Yeah, so I mean, you should catch the episode on YouTube or something.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Saul Williams plays the boyfriend of one of the stars.
Okay.
And him in Common, of course. They're doing more spoken word stuff, but they're like battling each other, giving each other subs.
Sure. Yeah.
Hilarious shit, yo.
So actually, this is really funny. I've gone back on a lot of old. I used to do internet tape trading way before the streaming.
Hey.
Before I even started putting out music. Made a lot of connections that way, but have weird radio shows and stuff. And I actually dug something up the other day that was like Common and Freestyle Fellowship battling a bunch of Wu-Tang guys.
But my God.
Not an actual like going at each other battle. It's more just taking turns,
Yeah.
In jest. And I think Wu-Tang was in New York, and I think it was a wake up show / something in New York at the time as well. Yeah, no,
that's pretty sick.
Yeah, no, it was crazy dope. Yeah, but I mean, people who knew, like very influential and criminally under-recognized to this day. How the impact of those guys. So yeah.
And this is just going back to Bus Driver for a second.
Yep.
In like a very small, maybe more mainstream way, Danny Brown.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like a weirdo who's really out there and his own shit. Yeah. That would be fair. In a
salute to Danny Brown, by the way.
Totally, man. Yeah,
hell yeah, respect all day.
Yeah.
What are you finding yourself looking for now? Right? You still love music, obviously. You obviously still love hip hop. But when you're, I don't know what means whichever means you approach, whether it's Bandcamp or going into a physical store or Spotify or Apple Music, whatever. Yeah. What are you looking for now when you're like, I need to hear some new hip hop shit? What are you looking for now?
For rap right now?
Yeah.
Well, I've had kind of a second life with vinyl in the last number of years. Me and my partner bought our first house 3 years ago. And she's from Montreal. her
Okay.
parents were holding on to like Techniques, component, stereo, everything, turntable, not, it's a direct drive and things like
Right,
that.
right.
Anyways, I haven't had a decent turntable that didn't have a little speaker built into it and stuff in years. So I've had, 10, 12 boxes of records in my basement since, before I had kids.
Yeah.
But kind of had a second life with that, and especially now they DJ Kinetic opened up Old Gold Vinyl. That's my go-to for sure. Kind of had a second, my kids are older now. I'm a teacher, so I've got, well, I still kind of living check to check, but I've got I can squint my eyes and buy a $50 record if I really want that Miles Davis record or whatever.
Yeah.
Buying a lot of vinyl. And more recently, just trying to jump on, a lot of the stuff I'm listening to. What's really good right now? I really, really like this Infinity Knives and Brian Annals. That's some hot shit. Bazooka Joe, John Smith has put me on to a lot of this shit lately.
Okay.
Nacho Picasso, some of my favorite shit right now. Like a little bit more obscure, but not, they're still moving some units and things like that. So like finding that stuff on vinyl and ordering it and just splurging on things like that I know if I wait a year, it's going to be, $150 on Discogs type stuff. My favorite records of right now, or even like, the Black Thought and Danger Mouse album or something, on Amazon.
Nice selection.
Yeah. So I definitely prefer to listen to stuff on vinyl if I can. But, I definitely Bandcamp. I do have a family Spotify membership. So, the gift and the curse, you can check out shit the day it comes out if people put it on there. We're not right now, actually, with Peanuts and Corn. We're trying to buck that. Do I call it a trend? It's not a trend. Buck that norm. Right? Yeah.
I think you guys will be fine.
Yeah. I think we have most of the people who are listening to it are seeking it out anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I don't know, we're trying to just bring back physical in some way or, support however you can. It'll probably go on streaming after a half year. We're throwing that around anyways. But right now, my new album is, the first, I guess, the compilation we put out a few months ago. But the first couple of things PNC has done that haven't been on streaming, I mean, ever, since the beginning of streaming. So.
And I mean, it's not like they can't stream the stuff on Bandcamp because
totally. You can hear it on Bandcamp for sure. Yeah, it'll give you that little broken heart emoji. It's time to open your wallet thing, but then you can just keep listening. Really. So,
and at the same time, it gives you the opportunity to realize, oh, this is definitely worth my hard-earned ducats.
Yeah, and I just think there's something to. I mean, those who are never going to buy something are never going to buy anything, and
exactly,
I fault them. That's what music is right now.
Yeah.
There's just something to investing. I mean, this is why I like vinyl so much. Is like there's nothing like holding it in your hands, looking at the notes. You're investing in something. I mean, back in the day, you used to buy a tape or a CD, and it's like, fuck, never heard it. And if it sucks, like I'm still listening to it 10 times easily because I just dropped $15 on this.
Yeah.
And you're going to find something good in it, chances are, Yeah, I mean, I think there's something to just investing in something and not, everything's so skippable now, it's just like, how many people are even getting to the end of a lot of tracks? And it's like, well, if they're going to do that anyways, like, I mean, whatever. I'm not going to make it easy for them.
Yeah, no, for real.
Wow.
No, that's all like no lies told whatsoever. Yeah. And I mean, it's not like you guys don't have a fan base.
Yeah, totally. And it's, it's modest, I guess, but worldwide, those who know, we're getting new people in and things like that. But yeah, I mean, it's to have some exclusivity is, and physical things like the zine the PNC just put out, which is going to come out every 4 months or so.
Quarterly. Nice.
That's a fun way to do it. It's a zine with an album. My new album is going to be on cassette. And actually, it should drop any day on cassette. Yeah, it's been on the digital, but cassette and CD. And yeah, I mean, if you want it that way, cool. If not, I mean, just stream it from Bandcamp or throw us a few ducats. And, none of us are getting rich off of this. But
exactly. This is just to get it out to the people.
Yeah, yeah, and it's always. I mean, I've kind of always taken that attitude of, um, I don't know. I don't want to depend on this for my livelihood, which is, I recognize,
No.
a very privileged thing to do. It's
Yeah.
been. I'm not going to call it a hobby, but it's a passion project. Everything I'm
Yeah.
doing is a passion project. Do I want to like have to chase trends to stay relevant, to move enough units to keep afloat
That's
and things like that?
tough.
Totally, and I can't fault someone who's doing that. You know,
No, not at all.
it's
Teach their own.
yeah, it's almost impossible to make a living off of music these days. But
Yeah.
um,
I think most artists know that at this point. At
yeah,
least
it's been that way
one
for
would hope. One would hope.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, completely. And when even when I joined PNC 20 plus years ago, it's like you could say I was jumping on a sinking ship at the time, not PNC in general, but just the music industry.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there was a time where it's like, oh, this looks like we don't have to compromise anything, and we can all make a living off of this. And then
Yeah.
streaming and everything kind of imploded everything. But yeah,
I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And one of the benefits of having a dedicated fan base is they want to support whatever you put out. So you put out physicals, they're gonna be wanting to get their hands on those physicals.
yeah. A lot of people, for sure, for sure. I mean, some people won't, but you can also support through Bandcamp, and again,
Yeah,
or not, or just check it out, and I'm cool. I'm happy you're listening, or
exactly.
we drop a video, just I hope you check it out. We put a lot of thought into this stuff. We don't make skippable songs in terms of like you have to listen to it a couple of times to really
Yeah,
unpack what's going on and stuff,
yeah.
like style wise, concept wise, beat wise. So yeah, I mean,
But who wants to get it all in the first listen? That takes all the fun out of it.
that's how I listen to music.
You know what I mean?
Most. I mean, sometimes it's there's different music for
Depends
different.
what you listen to.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, totally. Yeah,
yeah, totally. For the cover for do's and don'ts, you
yeah.
listed Chopper's Drug Mart.
Yeah, that was Roddy, but it's not untrue. That was Rod's idea of like, here's I got an idea for the album cover. So it was a process to make this album. I don't know, should I unpack that right now?
Go.
Yeah, okay. So the original idea for this album was during the pandemic. We were all getting pretty busy with a bit of a fire lit under our asses in terms of making music. I made album with Gruff. Actually, we made most of it before the album or before the pandemic hit, but it came out during the pandemic.
Mhm.
Turn the Gun with Gumshoe Strut, Park Like Setting with Bazooka Joe and McEnroe, another side project with McEnroe, like number of things I was doing. So when it came time to do my solo album, Rod had this idea. Rod being McEnroe, for those of you who don't know. He had this idea to kind of bring the listener in a different way. So the original idea was he was going to give me a batch of 12 beats. And the way Rod does it is he'll make a series of beats, and he'll call this like, I don't know, the dial series. So there'll be like dial 01, dial 02, all the way up to dial 12. So he'll send me a package of beats, and he's like, what I want you to do, write to 10 of them, but don't write full songs. You could write a hook, you could write a verse, you could write a verse and a hook, whatever you want to do. Write it 8 bars of a verse, but we do something where originally we would put the beats out there. Not sure how podcast form. We didn't get that far, but the original idea was he would do that. Then we would put out the demos of what I've done with it, and whether we get people to vote or just bring them into the process one way or another. And we would do that 3 times. So I'd have a total of 30 songlets, and then we would flush out the best 12, 14 of those or whatever into full songs by the end of it. So I got through 2 rounds of that, was working on the 3rd one. And then it just got to the point where, McEnroe with his crazy life, he's executive producing.
Busy man.
Very busy man. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was doing the podcast weekly over the last year for the 30th anniversary of
Mhm.
the record label. So yeah, it just got to a point where it's like, is this realistic? Or with every, like, there's other albums coming down the pipeline too. So we just decided, you know what, like, let's just, here's what we've got. Let's just actually make the call ourselves, flush it into an album. So that's what we did. So I have a whole bunch of half finished songs or things like that as well. But I'm pretty happy with how the 12 of those turned out. So we had, I had all these songs, but I didn't know the album title. That was like the last thing to come. Yeah, and when it came time for the cover and things like that, that's just us spitballing back and forth. And he's like, "I got this idea. How about you go get some passport photos?" And like, cool, done. So yeah, Shoppers Drug Mart passport photos.
There you go. I was like, dude, that's a passport photo.
Totally a passport photo. Yeah.
Very, very nice Easter egg for the credits there.
I expect some royalties from Shoppers Drug.
Does the title of the album usually come once it's finished, or has it come in the beginning and you worked around it?
Yeah, it's definitely happened that way as well. Yeah, it's kind of whatever works, For this one, I had gone back and forth with a whole bunch of album titles. Didn't find like I encapsulated anything that, like, really hit the album, and it's just, this was it, So I had a few, and one of the songs I like the most is a song called "Do's and Don'ts," which is kind of like this song where it's like, do this, and I actually kind of slick Rick myself. I go back and forth with myself where I do like, do this on one track, don't that on another track.
Hell,
so like,
fuck yeah!
This, don't that, don't that. So do's and don'ts. And then, we were spitballing some album title ideas, and it's like, well, what about do's? What about do's? Like, my friend again, or my partner from Montreal, she's Francophone as her first language. So Roddy wanted some French samples of her talking about some songs that he was going to put throughout the album, kind of tie things together. So I'm like, do's as in like French for 12, or and then eventually we were like DUES, do's and don'ts. Yeah, just worked.
It's safe to say that that's your partner that we hear on the record.
It is, yes.
Okay. I was like,
slowed down.
What's up with all the French interpolations? Go on.
Yeah. No, that's all original. There's no flagging us on if that does hit streaming. Nobody's saying no, that's a sample.
Can you translate what she was saying?
Somewhat. Yeah, I'm actively trying to learn French right now in a very slow, 5 minutes a day on Duolingo type of way.
Yeah.
Although, like, when I go to Quebec with her, I can understand a lot more than I can speak. My speaking,
well, that's good.
Which is
that helps.
Yeah. But yeah, no, what she's actually saying, yeah, it was. I mean, we kind of constructed it together. I gave her the ideas of what the songs were, and she kind of wrote a little piece around it, and some of it's taken like a little bit out of context because it's she recorded a 1 minute thing and Rod took 7 seconds of it or whatever. So yeah, most of it I understand.
It's kind of nice to be on a record with your partner.
Yeah, you know what, like PNC, we've done that at times. Let me see.
Kind of nice.
Yeah, on my first solo album, Hold the Fort Down, we had my eldest daughter's mom and my daughter when she was like 6 months old.
Yeah.
On the back cover.
Yeah.
My second album, we had my pregnant wife at the time and our kids on it. Yeah, it's nice to just break down that wall a little bit, and it's authentic, and I mean, enough people that are listening to me as well might very well know me, and know her, and it's an art project,
I mean, when it's all said and done, man, knowing that, you were able to do that in your lifetime, man, you get to take that with you to the grave, dog. Come on.
True.
That's sick. That's some memorable shit. You know what I mean?
And again, it's kind of like the opposite of something that's disposable or just making music.
Yes.
It's like, here's where I am in life, and a fun way to throw it in there, to pepper it in there where it's not shoving it down someone's throat.
Yeah.
Whatever, it's just an Easter egg or whatever.
Yeah, I was at first I thought they were samples, but then when I looked at what the credits at the bottom of the Bandcamp page, that there was an actual credit. Okay, those weren't samples. Okay, so
Claudine
He,
Chevrier. Yep.
he must know that person in some form or fashion.
I do.
That's sick.
We just went half on a puppy, actually. So
Hey, what did you get?
we got a poodle. We got a poodle because
Hey.
in the house. Yeah, but decided to go the puppy route this one time. We've always been big proponents of
Nice.
strays and adoptions through Humane Society and stuff, which
Yeah.
we did for cats. But yeah, kind of a long story and stuff. But it was the right move for our family at this point. So yeah, beautiful.
Well,
but I'm lacking in sleep right now.
I believe it. I believe it. How old is the puppy?
9 weeks. Like
9 weeks. Woo! Yeah, you're not sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, I can't complain. He's basically house trained, but to do that, we have to
Nice.
get out at like 2:15 in the morning to let him out and stuff. So,
It
anyways,
passes.
first
You're
world
fine.
problems.
Yeah. It passes. You've had children. You know,
Yeah.
it's the same thing. You're fine.
It's not that far removed. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That was the crazy part is when we got Yara,
Yeah.
she was like 3 months old.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so she's a little bit older than what is your dog's name?
Beanie.
Beans, love it.
Yeah.
Love it. So Yara's a little bit older than Beans, but still very much in the puppy phase.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at Michelle and just being like, it's true. They are just like having kids again.
I know, dude. I know. Like I can remember kind of silently judging people when it's like I had a baby at 23 and you have a conversation with someone who only wants to talk about themselves and they're like, "Oh, really? Well, I got a dog." And it's like dude, not the same. And I'm like, "Oh, no, it's a little bit the same actually."
A little bit. That's awesome. That's so dope to have a new addition. How did you get Beans?
Through meticulously looking at not puppy mills, and it's
of course, yes. Thank you for stressing that. Yes.
Yeah, my partner is she's actually a doctor in global public health, not the like rich doctors, but she's got a PhD.
Okay.
So yeah, she's good with her research. So
dope.
she took the lead on a lot of that, and
puppy mills are ass.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to. I mean, that's the absolute opposite of going to the Humane Society or a rescue.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And we have so many great rescue agencies in Winnipeg.
Completely.
Like,
and another thing we were working around was we have two pandemic cats, two brothers. Alibi that we
man,
they're 4 years old, but they were like real pandemic strays. We got them as babies, but they're pretty scared of a lot of people and a lot of things and stuff. So we were like, we're protecting them first and foremost. We need a puppy with a low prey drive and things like that. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. There's nothing like having a house full of fur.
Yeah.
That's the best.
My allergies would agree with you.
Most definitely. Yo, it's funny that you brought up do's and don'ts because, man, that should be a single. You know that, right?
You know what? It might be. Actually, McEnroe's coming to town in a little over a week, I think. I'm talking to him later tonight.
That should be a single.
Ideas.
I'm just saying.
I don't disagree with you. We'll see.
Song's fire.
Yeah,
jeez.
I kind of have an idea of something we could do for a video too, so we'll see if that works, man. Yeah.
And way to sequence it where that's what basically sets things off right after the intro.
Yeah. I mean, that's mostly McEnroe. I defer to him mostly for song sequencing.
McEnroe, that sequencing was solid, dog. Perfect sequencing.
What's he done? 60 plus albums,
Yeah, he should know.
He knows what he's doing. So yeah. I'll throw in my 2 cents sometimes, but and he also talks about how in this day of, even if it's not streaming, short attention spans and things like that, you do unfortunately have to front load albums with bangers, with the things that are going to catch the attention a little bit more, because people might not make it to the end, if you're talking about not the diehard fans and stuff. So
it's funny that you mentioned that, because another joint that I think would make a great B-side, just because of the length of the title.
Yeah.
Everything I Needed to Know I Learned from Rap.
Yeah, man.
That shit is fire, dog. Oh, damn.
Thank you. Yeah. I was talking to Bazooka Joe after I sent him the the final copy of the album, and he was saying he thinks that's the centerpiece of the album. I was like, really? Oh yeah, okay.
Sick.
I don't disagree though. So I thought the idea behind that is again, I teach grade 1 and grade 2 young kids, so I have to teach everything except for phys ed and music, basically. And just how really reflecting over the years, especially going through everything with people's preconceived notions of hip hop. I'm talking from the late '80s, the '90s, everything we've seen. When it was not mainstream to super mainstream to everything. People, what they come with when they hear you're a rapper, and it's like actually like what I've learned about hip hop through, or all of these things through hip hop, like when I'm talking about social studies, I'm talking about like my place as a white person in Winnipeg. You got to fucking humble yourself and know, a lot of humility to hold this position of any sort and say that you have any place in hip hop, learning about history in general, learning about geography. Where is this place? Where DJ Screw, where's, all of this stuff, very regional things.
Yeah.
And that's just social studies. And then we're getting into math, patterns and different things like that. So I unpack every core subject and talk about what I learned from rap about that subject from the perspective of a rapping grade 1 teacher. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking sick, yo.
Yeah, I thought it worked out.
Shit.
I like that one. Yeah.
Flames.
Yeah, very
Flames,
long title. There's a couple of songs on this album that have some titles where McEnroe's like, "You sure? You sure you don't want?" Another one is what is it? I wasn't thinking about it that way. You're totally right.
yeah. I was like, wow, those titles are.
Yeah, but I'm like that. But that captures it. It's like it's a song of humility.
Completely.
And I wasn't thinking about this. You're totally right. So.
You have another joint on there that features some other notable MCs. You had Gully on there, you had Phenom, and you had Brendan Gray from Super Duty Tough Work.
Yes.
Bunch of different crews. How did that come about?
Just kind of something I really wanted to do. Like we've been in the scene for a long time. And you know what it is in Winnipeg. All of us we're all in the same place at the same time. Frequently. Yep. I've known these people and we like each other. We get along on a personal level. We're more talking about our kids and things like that than meeting each other immediately and like, yo, we should do stuff. Like we get to know each other over the years. And all those people have been doing it for a long time. And we've seen how many people like come and go, real quick. Or somebody lasts a couple of years and then they're out, and it's like, hey, I mean, do your thing. But there's people who have been doing this and grinding and contributing to the scene. And with the exception of Gully, like none of these people have been on a PNC project.
Yeah.
So I just reached out to them. I'm like, I got this idea for a song. Let's get this posse cut going. And actually, like, there were other people that like they were my first 3 choices to get on this song, but there were a number of other MCs that I was like, I think 10 people that I'm like, I would love to do a posse cut. I'm not going to do a 10-minute posse cut. No, so I'm not going to ask everybody, but I'm going to
like heavyweights part 11.
Yeah, exactly. It'll go forever, which would also be dope, but something a bit more cohesive. So yeah, I like how it turned out, and everybody came through with that one.
I love the fact that we're hearing Phenom on a new rap record in 2025.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
I've
been a huge fan. Every time I've seen her, from Bonafide, Magnum KI, everything, like, and just such a kind human too.
Oh yeah,
great things in the community, and so it was just, again, like, I'm at that point, I'm in my 40s. I'm like, I'm doing bucket list stuff. I want to make this happen. I'm not saying this is my last album by any means, but I'm
go for it when you can.
Yeah, like I don't want to look back with regrets. These are people that I admire and I'm cool with and stuff, and like it just kind of happens. So yeah,
it's funny you mentioned the word bucket list.
Yeah,
the first single to Do's and Don'ts featured a notable Project Bloodian that goes by the name of Micah 9.
Yeah. Yeah.
God damn, dog.
That was my bucket list, and now
I'm
like
saying.
I'm waiting for fucking lightning to strike me now, man. Yeah, that was really, really bucket list stuff. Yeah. So he's
Before
actually
before we go on, I have you guys ate, okay?
thanks. Thanks.
Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you do a song with like I'm not trying to overstate this or just saying this recently, but like he's been like my favorite rapper for a long time. So to have
Salute
an
Micah 9 all
opportunity,
day.
yeah, yeah. Like I would literally put, if I'm talking about again, my outsider Winnipeg white guy, but hip hop historian, lens is on. I'm talking like there's Grandmaster Cass from the Cold Crush Brothers who changed rap. There's Rakim, changed rap, and there's Micah 9. To me, I'm like, those are to me, stylistically, and I mean, a lot of people have contributed and changed things and stuff, but like, I'm go out on a limb and say like he's one of the most important, and people who know, like, not just underground people, like he's well respected, yeah.
No
So
lies told, Famington.
yeah, yeah, and so he what was it, 15 years ago or something, started making music with the homie Factor in
Yeah, that's
72.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they did 3 full-length projects. He was like his go-to producer. I mean, they'd still make music. But yeah, for anyone who hasn't checked out Micah 9 and Factor's 1969 album, amazing.
Peep it for sure.
So good. That'll show you what Micah 9's about. So many styles on there and stuff. So yeah, got connected through Factor, got to meet Micah when he played in Winnipeg, and then reached out to him to do the song and made it happen. So bucket list.
Damn. That's
Yeah, man. Yeah.
and if you look at just the moment itself, the fact that it happened is one thing. The fact that it is on record from time immemorial,
Yeah.
that's like, oh.
Yeah, dude. Like I could die easy. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
isn't that kind of crazy though? Isn't that kind of crazy when you can say that you've honestly checked off, a good number of bucket list items and maybe possibly you'd be okay with going?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like I've said it from afar for a long time of just like, oh, could I do a song with it? Could I even hang with that person on a lyrical level or style wise and stuff? Yeah, but I'm glad with how that turned out. And more recently, like Peanuts and Corn has started to open up. We've kept it very in house for a long time, which we're such a tight knit group.
Mhm.
With really, really good rappers. So just keeping it tight like that, who are all really good friends, and that's including like the extended groups of Bird of Prey, Nestor Windrush, Gumshoe Strut, Rob Crooks. Like we just hang out outside of music way more than we do music related,
Right.
But yeah, we're starting to expand a little bit more and reach out to people that we admire or take people up on their reaching out to us and things
Yeah.
like that. So actually, like on the next compilation, I'm not gonna fucking spill the beans on this shit, but like there's another great artist that's gonna be on there that I really admire.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some things coming down the pipeline right now that's kind of like it's fun to branch out a little bit more.
Hell yeah. I think you guys doing that joint live would be fire, yo.
Jesus, yeah,
Jeez.
yeah, man. I'll drive down to LA to project.
Just to do that one joint. That's true commitment to my passion. Well, man, if it isn't already obvious, I love the record.
Thank you.
I love the vibe. I love it. The majority of the album, you're clocking in around 80 to 84 BPMs.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Cohesive as fuck. Love it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Love it.
Trying to switch it up style wise sometimes and not make it, I used to think a whole album of Yai might be a bit much, like just kind of, there's a lot to unpack and it's, it can be, how do I say, aggressive, but the styles can be maybe a whole lot for an hour or whatever it is. But no, I think I've diversified the flows enough and things like
Yeah.
that on there, and guests don't hurt. So
Dog, you cooked.
thank you, thank you.
And fucking salute McEnroe, because once again, cooked.
I know, man.
Jeez.
He's on his shit, man.
Yeah, no, like the chemistry on this record is so obvious. But I mean, you guys developed that over time. It should be like you guys should be able to do this in your sleep now.
Yeah, it's been shit. Yeah, again, like 20 plus years, 25 almost, that I've been with them. They've been doing it for 30. So
Yep.
I still consider myself the youngin in the crew.
Yes, youngin. Yes.
I know.
Are you gonna drop any visuals? Any upcoming visuals?
Yeah. So I think when McEnroe's here, we're talking about shooting a video.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because you said he's coming. I'm like, ooh, maybe they're shooting something.
Real soon. Yeah, I need to talk to him when I get off the horn with you. So
dope. Well, yo, man, once again, thank you so much for spending time with us in the lounge space. We love having you in here, man. Love like talking, not just like with you, the artist, but you, the person as well.
Mutual.
Straight up and down. The album Do's and Don'ts is available now on Bandcamp.
Yep.
If the single came out, how far did the album come from the single?
Sorry, say that again.
How long ago did you drop the single?
Oh, I see. Maybe it came out 3-4 weeks before. Not too long.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty
So
short.
maybe no visuals for that single, but
I don't think so.
the next single.
Yeah. I'm thinking so. I'm
everything B-side.
I'm with you. I'd also like to hear, because McEnroe has a habit of remixing singles and getting a new.
Yes, he does.
Remix. It's like, I don't have to do any work, and I get a new song. It's like Christmas.
There you go.
Yeah.
There it is, man. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Do's and don'ts. It's man. We always got time for you. Farmington all day.
All the support always, man.
Hell yeah. Make sure you cop this record on Bandcamp. And like we mentioned, you can stream it. You want to sample it first, by all means, sample it. It'll be worth every second of your time. It's a dope record, and it's worthy of your collection, physical and digital.
Yes.
Because they are available in physical as well, correct?
If you buy the physical, you get the digital automatically.
There you go. God damn. How could you not enjoy that type of customer service? Let's fucking go. Until we get you up in here again, brethren, respect all day.
I appreciate it, man.
Peace, homie.
Peace.